Thank you for joining me with another episode of Still Growing. Okay, so today I have a very weird story, which it's like what the double hockey stick is going on. The CDC has put out a warning of zombie apocalypse. Now, I know what you're thinking. Of course, this is a joke, and definitely the CDC would not be involved in something. I mean, really, are there zombies? I know that there are humans, and then there are humans. I mean, the government haven't even admit that there are aliens. I mean, we keep hearing about this, but there has been no official acknowledgement that there is any other life form than what we know. But apparently, we're supposed to be concerned with regards to zombie apocalypse. Zombies are going to be taking over our lives sooner or later, it seems. And it looks like it's more sooner than anything else. Now, when I heard this story, I thought to myself, okay, that doesn't sound right. Not the CDC. We know the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control Prevention. The Walking Dead. Why would such an organization that is so focused on rational, life-changing situations be concerned with zombies? I would think that's something that is left for the children or the movies. And on their website, they've put out a warning in regards to this over 10 years ago. And now they're updating that information. Now, I heard on the news they're laughing about it, but really, if the Center for Disease and Control is really going to be putting this information out, shouldn't we be taking some notice of exactly what this is about and what they're saying that we should be doing in order to protect ourselves? I'm going to go through that information, but just before I do that, we know the CDC is a very serious organization that deals with important issues, and they're not just in the United States or in Canada or in Europe. They are all over the world. They have headquarters all over the world because they deal with important issues ongoing. Okay, these are the people that whenever there's a disease breaking out, there's an illness, there's a flu breaking out anywhere in the world, they're the first one on the ground to test it, to figure out what is it, was it created, what's the root of it, what might happen to people in terms of losing their lives, how to prevent this. This is an important organization. So it's not a joke organization. When I read this, when I go to their website and I see them talking about this, it makes me stop and wonder, what is this really about? And it makes me wonder about what has been happening in our lives over the last year and a half, if this has anything to do with it. Now, there are certain things that you can't say on YouTube, because if you do, then automatically your video will not be shared, right? And so I can't really get into detail about what's been going on, but we all over the world have been living it. So we know exactly what's been going on. So if they put out this information 10 years ago, 2011, and now they're updating this information, they're saying that this is something that people all over the world should be cautious. And so that makes me think about, why are we concerned about zombies? Is there something that is being introduced in our lives that will change us into zombies? Or is there another life form that's being created that are zombies? Or is there aliens that's coming here? Now, this whole conversation, trust me, this whole conversation is so weird. But I really do think that I have to talk about it, because if such an important organization is putting this information out, then we can't just turn around and say that that's just conspiracy, that's just a joke. It would be really unintelligent of us to just let this information go by without figuring out what is the importance of that information within our lives, right? And so, one thing that they do say on the website is that they're putting this information out because they want children to pay more attention with regards to any kind of epidemic that might occur in the world, right? But why link it to zombies? Because from I was in school until now, children are being taught to be ready for disasters. Disaster happen, right? But why are they now linking it to that, and why now is a time that they think it's important for us to be preparing for that? Now, I'm going to go through what they are saying, the preparedness that we should be doing. And a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, we really haven't been paying attention to. I know that we're all covering up, but there's a lot of other stuff that we should be doing, things that we should be purchasing and stocking up that we aren't doing. But just before I get into that, I want to talk about what we're seeing in not just the media, but also in our entertainment. Now, whenever we're watching these type of movie that talks about that's such as The Living Dead over the years, is that these movies are used to do two things. One, they're used in order to introduce to society at large new behaviors which the powers that be would like us to be able to take part in. What's the other movie that Lupita was in? Us, I think it's called. When you're looking at these type of movies, really, as a people, we should not be taking part in these, because what I have found, or if we know anything, we know that fear is a destroyer of everything productive. And the most striking one is, of course, when we see Black people being brutalized on a regular basis, whether you're seeing it in movies or you're seeing it on the streets. When you continually take part in watching that and seeing that, you begin to accept that that's what life is about, whether you really want to or not. You begin your sense of fight begins to lower, and you begin to accept that that's just the way things are, and that it's okay to turn the other cheek, and that these things happen all the time. And so the sense of fighting back is no longer there. And so I have found personally that by watching a lot of Hollywood movies, that you have to be careful in what you're watching. And so that brings me to now watching these scary movies. What scary movie does actually is that it breaks down your sense of security. Watching fear, you begin to open up yourself to fear. And so, as young people, if you're growing up watching scary movie and thinking that you're enjoying these scary movie, what you're basically doing is building up fear in your body, fear in your muscles, fear in your heart, fear in everything. And so as a result, you are unable to live a more fulfilling life. What I'm trying to say is that them putting up information about zombies and saying, oh, this is a way to get the children more involved. First of all, you wouldn't want your children watching these type of movies. Second of all, why now? Why should an organization that deals with such important issues talk about something that is not relevant in life? Like, I can see McDonald's talking about that, and they're, having a zombie burgers, whatever. But such an organization as the CDC talking about that makes me wonder, why would they choose to put that information out when it does nothing positive? Unless they know something that we don't. And so if you're watching this video, I would really like to get some feedback as to what you think is going on. Um, why should we be prepared? I know we're going through this situation that we have been going through, as I said, for the last year and a half. But is that situation leading to something? Are we as a people, under certain circumstances, gonna change? I know when someone is watching this, you can get an idea of what I'm saying, but I can't really say the words, right? So let's have a look and see what it is that the CDC is saying that we're supposed to be doing. It's a CDC emergency preparedness. And so basically, you're supposed to be prepared in case of a zombie attack, because I guess they can, whether it's sometime soon, we don't know. But basically, they're saying that you're supposed to be prepared. So this is what they're saying, that each individual should have water. They're saying 1 gallon per person per day. And basically, you're supposed to have enough water for at least 30 days. Food, you're supposed to be stocked up with non-perishable items. Whatever food it is that you eat on a regular basis, you're supposed to have that set aside. Also, for medication, that include prescription and non-perishable meds. Tools and supplies, you need a knife, duct tape, batteries, radio, sanitation and hygiene. So you need household bleach, soap, towels, and clothing and bedding. And so for clothing and bedding, you need to have a change of clothes for each family member, and also blankets. Other important documents, you should have copies of your driver's license, your passport, your birth certificate. And other issues include first aid supplies. Although here they specify that in terms of first aid, although they're saying that you need to have first aid, if a zombie actually bites you, you're a goner. However, you can use these supplies to treat basic cuts and laceration that you may get in terms of other disaster issues. So that's the emergency kit that we're all supposed to have. Now, that sounds a lot like what we were told a year and a half ago. Well, I guess I keep saying a year and a half, but it hasn't been a year and a half. It's not even a year. February, yeah, it just turned a year. But it seems like we've been living this life now. It seems like so long that I keep saying a year and a half, but really it's just around February, March that we went under this whole change where, what are they calling it now? The new norm. So with this new norm, we were told that we were supposed to have all of these things. Remember when everyone went out crazy and bought out all the toilet papers out of the stores, and nothing happened, and then we look back and we laughed at ourselves. But really, the CDC is saying that you should have stocked up way before that, and you should have these things still stocked up, because you don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. I really want to have a conversation with other people to hear what you're thinking is going on, what you're thinking this is all about. Guys, make a comment and let's have a further conversation about this. Guys, all I can say is this: don't take things for granted, and be aware of what's going on in society. Take care of yourselves. Make sure that you have all of these things that they talked about. Because just because we didn't need all of them months ago, less than a year or a year ago, doesn't mean that we're not going to need them going forward in the future. Don't be the type of person who laugh and dismiss every single thing. Because I'm not saying that I know this for certain, but what I do know is that something is up. We may not have the answers, but we do know something is up. Until next time, guys, take care of yourself. Peace and love. Bye.